hello and welcome to week 1 of term 4. Most of you I know are coming back, but we have a few new students, so welcome to those of you that are just joining us. So I'm just going to go over some basic information today, and then we're going to go over one assignment as well. So, first of all, my contact information. So this is always available on the landing page for you. It's at the very bottom, so if you need to get in contact with me, the very best way to get in touch with me is through email. I check my email all the time, but if you email me and then you don't hear back within an hour or so, you can feel free to shoot me a text. So my email is amber.belak@banv.org, and you can text me at 702-723-7706. That is available to you from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And when you text, you need to make sure you include your name and your class. If you could include your name and your class on your email too, that would be beneficial to me. I do have 4 different sections, so if you narrow it down to which class you're in, my response time will be a little bit quicker. But please do not text me before 7 a.m. or after 10 p.m. If you have a question during those hours from 10:01 p.m. to 6:59 a.m., you can feel free to email me and I'll get back to you when I get it. Office hours. I do hold live office hours on Wednesdays between 11 a.m. and noon, or you are welcome to come to, or you're welcome to schedule them by appointment as well. So from 11 to noon on Wednesdays, it's just kind of a drop-in thing. You're welcome to come in. It's a Collaborate session that I set up and have your questions answered. So again, the best way to contact me is email or text. I am not available on campus. I do teach at a different school during the day, so I won't be on campus at all, but Miss T and Mrs. Brown are available on campus to assist you. Collaborate sessions for this class are pre-recorded. They will be available to you on Mondays, so everybody is required to take the CQ for this class. And please remember, if you click on the CQ before it's available, what's going to happen is when you go back in to take the test again, it's going to pop up with what you originally clicked on. So if you've gone through and you've opened up all 8 CQs this week, they're going to populate as blank for you for the remainder of the term. So if a CQ does not have a question, you need to click Submit. After you click Submit, go back in, reload it, and it will have the questions there for you. But again, if it's blank, it's because you went in early and it's not showing the questions for you. So when you email me, I'm going to tell you that exact thing. Click Submit and then reload them. Office hours, like I said, it's every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to noon. So not only is this a time for you to come by and get your questions answered, but I do offer like a writing lab too. So most weeks you'll have a writing assignment. So if you come to the office hours, I'll have some suggestions for you. I'll have some graphic organizers for you, different things that can help you to be successful with your writing assignment for that week. This term, you will be reading a novel, so this is on top of all of the other classwork. It's 100% your responsibility to make sure that you stay on track. You can't come to me the last week of the term and say, oh, well, I decided to read Holes for it. Nope. Enrique's Journey is your required reading, unless you're an honor student. If you're an honor student, you do have some choices of the books you're going to read, but for everybody else, you're reading this book. You can't choose to read a 3rd or 4th grade reading level book. You're reading a 10th grade or 9th grade reading level book. Okay? So you do have to get the book on your own. You have several options though. Number 1, next time you're on campus for tutoring, you can pick up a hard copy from the front desk. Just tell them you're in Miss Belak's English 1's class, you're reading Enrique's Journey, and they will check out a book for you. Number 2, we do have some copies available digitally, and you can access them. This information's all in the course as well, but you can access them by going to banv.lib.overdrive.com, and then you're going to use your GradPoint credentials to log in there. There are a limited number of digital copies, so if you go in and it says it's unavailable, that means that all of the digital copies have been checked out already, so you'll have to find an alternate way to get the book. Number 3, if you don't want to do either of those, you can purchase your own copy. You can get it on Amazon, I think, for $6 or $7, or you're welcome to rent it from your local library. Your final projects for this class will be based on this book. This is not a class where if you get a certain grade, you get you can opt out of the final project. It is a required final in here. So just so you know up front. And then also I have on here for you the reading pace guide. Now you're welcome to, read it faster or slower if you want, but this will ensure that you get through by the end of the term if you are looking for specific pacing. It's an interesting read. I think you guys will enjoy it. Then you want to make sure that as you read, you're completing the character charts that are there and the reflection questions. If you wait until the very end after you've done it, you got to go back and do a lot of rereading. So I have both of these items available for you. They're in the week 1 folder under the extended reading, so you can click and open these. If you are an honor student and you're choosing to read something different, you can just email me what book you're going to read, and I can provide you with character charts and reflection questions for that book. All right, so if you have any questions over the book, just let me know. Get the book now, start reading now. Don't wait until the end. This is a little bit longer of a read than what we did last term, which was Of Mice and Men. So make sure you get your book. All right, just a couple reminders about your grade. The CQs are worth 10% of your overall grade. Also, your final project is worth 10% of your overall grade. So those two items together make up 20%. So if you're looking to give your grade a quick boost, you want to make sure your CQs are done and your final is done. Obviously, that's going to be at the end of the term. But everything else in the course is worth 80% of your overall grade. Please remember, it's really important to keep on pace. I'm sure you all know how easy it is to fall behind, but if you keep up and you keep on track, you're not going to feel overwhelmed. So make sure you're checking in with what you should be doing each week. The best thing that you can possibly do on your Mondays is listen to the recording. I always do an assignment with you guys in the Collaborate session, and you know what to do for the week. So that's a really good way to start your week off. Just wake up, grab your coffee, grab your breakfast, listen to the recording, and you're good for the week. You've checked in. Also, remember, it is important to check in all of your classes in order to be counted as present for attendance, okay? Please make sure that you complete an assignment each week in every one of your classes. And obviously, especially this one, because that's the one I'm most concerned about. But make sure you're completing an assignment. All right, so what we're going to talk about today is we're actually going to talk about documentation, and then we're going to go through the writing assignment for this week together. So you'll notice there are 2 writing assignments this week. One of them is the writing research writing assignment. That's what we're going to do first. And then if you come to the office hours on Wednesday, you'll be able to go through the compare and contrast in the writing lab. So today we're talking about documentation and citing your sources when you do a research paper. So I would like you to remember that you are in a high school level class. So when you're asked to write a paragraph or you're asked to write a paper, it's expected to be at a higher level than what you did in elementary school. I can't tell you how many people I have turn in a paper. It's a compare and contrast paper, and they'll write it about apples and oranges. Or they'll write it about SpongeBob and Patrick. That's not appropriate. When you are writing at a high school level, you want to make sure that your information is research-based and your opinions and ideas are supported by research. So that's very important. Now, an important part of researching and including that information in your papers or your writing is to document or cite your sources appropriately. So the definition of plagiarism. Plagiarism is using someone else's ideas, research, or opinion and representing them as your own. Even if you change the wording or cite your sources, it may still be considered plagiarism, which is the academic equivalent of stealing. So as you know, as you read in the course information, if you choose to plagiarize in this class, you will get a 0 on that assignment without an opportunity to make it up. Also, the administration is made aware of the situation and it goes into your record. So you cannot plagiarize. This does not mean that you can totally copy somebody else's work and just cite the source either. When you are using a source, the information, the facts that you're giving can be from somebody else. That is the information that you're citing. But the wording of it needs to be your own. You can have a couple of direct quotes in your paper, but overall speaking, the wording should all be your own. The information can be from somebody else, and you have to cite the sources. So what should you be citing? Pretty much any time that you get information from someplace, you need to cite it. So it can be a direct quotation, it can be an argument or a conclusion presented by an expert. It can be a statistic or another numerical piece of data that supports your thesis, or any facts or examples that you find during your research. That information all needs to be cited. So when you cite your sources, you are essentially doing a bibliography, which in grown-up high school language is known as a works cited list. So for everything that you're turning in here, you should be having a works cited to go along with it. And we will be talking about the works cited page a little bit more on Wednesday in the writing lab regarding the compare and contrast paper. But for today, we're going to work through the writing research assignment, which gives you a list and asks you to cite them properly. So in this course, we are going to be using MLA format. So MLA format, when you do a works cited page, this is what's required. First of all, your name, your last name, and the page number belong in the upper right corner. So this is kind of an example. It should be double spaced. So when you are working in MLA format, your papers should be double spaced. I want you to get into the habit of that. Double space everything that you turn in. Even if it's, as simple as your paragraph for your CQ, double space it. Get into that habit. Because once you get to college, you're graded on the format that you use. So it should be double spaced. You should title it Works Cited. Works Cited should be centered. Everything else should be left aligned. Then you're going to arrange your sources in alphabetical order. So these are authors and they're showing up in alphabetical order. And finally, you have a hanging indent. So this one is kind of new to some people, but the hanging indent, so what happens is the first line of your citation should hang out to the left further than the rest of it. So you're going to let word wrap do its thing. So you're going to go ahead and type your entire citation up. Then when you're finished, you're going to go to the beginning of the second line and you push tab. And every subsequent line that you have for that particular citation, you're going to indent with the tab key. Okay? So we'll revisit this a little bit later, but I just want you to kind of get into the habit of using MLA format. It's very important. All right, so there is a doc that has been shared with you. It is posted in the week 1 Collaborate recording folder. So what I want you to do is I want you to open that up, and then you're going to make a copy of that doc so that it's your own. So if you don't know how to do that, you're going to click on File and scroll down to Make a Copy. So you want to make sure you're following along with this because this is what you are going to submit in 2 different places. You're going to submit it for the Collaborate quiz, so you're going to get points for your highlighting. And then you're also going to submit this for the writing research writing practice. Like I said earlier, Collaborates are well worth your time because we go through assignments together. So now that you have that doc open, you're going to work along with me. So what we're going to do in class is you're going to highlight the important info and you're going to create a citation for each source. Then once class is over, you're going to finish the assignment on your own. You're going to create a works cited page in the proper MLA format, and you're going to use the citations that we discuss in class. So you can do all of this on that one Google Doc that I've shared with you. So we'll kind of go over the first one together. So your assignment, as you can see, there are 5 citations that you need to make a works cited page for. So what we're going to do in class together is we are going to go over each of the examples. You're going to practice putting it into the proper format, and then once you have them at the end of class, you'll have them all in the right format, and all you'll need to do is put it into a works cited page. Alright, so the first example says, a print book by Barry B. LePaintner called Too Big to Fall. It was published in 2010 by Forrester Publishing in New York City in the United States. So what we want to do is we want to look at the important information that we can pull out. So we want to highlight that. So you'll notice that on your paper it already is highlighted. And you will also notice that on your paper you have a handy dandy website resource that you can use. That is actually Purdue's University's writing lab. That is an excellent resource for you to use. I still to this day use that when I cite sources or if I'm checking student work. It's a really great resource for you. So if you want to pause the video for a minute and go and take a look at the writing lab, that would be great. And I want you to look up what information you will need for a print book. So pause the video and then come on back when you're ready to move forward. Alright, so this one was kind of already done for you, so you'll notice that on your doc it's already highlighted. Print book is important. We want to know what type of source it is. The author is important. The name of the book is important. The year it was published and who it was published by, along with the name of the city. So if we look at a basic book citation format, this is all the information that we need. So we already have this information highlighted for us. Now what you need to do is you need to pull that information out and you need to put it in the correct formatting for the citation. So go ahead and pause the video and come on back when you're ready to move on. Alright, so your citation should look like this. So you have the last name, comma, first name, and he has a middle initial. Then you put a period after that. Please remember, punctuation is extremely important in citations. Then you have the name of the book, Too Big to Fall, followed by a period. Then you have the location where it was published, so we have New York, and then you put a colon. And then you put the name of the publishing company, which is Foster Publishing. Then you put a comma, the year that it was published, and a period after that. And then finally that it's a print book with a period. So you'll notice we only have one line here, so we don't have to worry about our hanging indent. You just want to make sure when you go to put this on your works cited page that it is left aligned and it is not indented here. Okay, the next one is a print book by Rosabeth Moss Cantor called Move, Putting America's Infrastructure Back in the Lead. It was published in 2015 by W.W. Norton & Company in New York City in the United States. So take a minute, highlight on your paper what is important, what you can pull out of there, and come on back when you're ready. Okay, so here are the highlights you should have come up with. It's a print book. That gives us how we are going to cite, and then there's the rest of your important info. So take a minute and put this information into a citation. Okay, so here's your correct citation format. You want to make sure that you have all of this information put underneath that bullet on your worksheet. Again, this is going to be part of your CQ grade. So you'll notice this one takes up 2 lines, so you want to make sure your second line is a hanging indent. So make sure you put your cursor at the beginning of your second line and push tab to create that hanging indent. Okay, here's the next one for you. So I want you to read it over on your own, and then I want you to highlight the important information that's there, and then come on back and we'll put the citation together. Okay, so you'll notice this one has a little bit more information that you pulled out. So that's what should be highlighted on your sheet. And then as you go to move on to your citation, this is just kind of the basic general format for any citation. So I want you to give it a go, try to put that together on your worksheet, and then come back and we'll go over the answer together. All right, so here's the correct citation info. So you'll notice that we still have the author first. So it goes last name, first name. Then it's going to be the title of the article. Notice that is in quotation marks. You want to put the website that you got it from. And then you need two dates. You need to make sure that you have the date that the information was originally published. And then you also have to put the date that you accessed the information. So just by putting these items into this order, you will, or people will know, I will know when I'm grading your items, what is what. Okay? So that's how it should look. Make sure it's correct on your paper. All right, here's the next one. So again, you want to make sure that you go through it, highlight the important information. So on your paper, you should be highlighting. Okay, so the information that you should have highlighted, that it's an online article, the title of the article, who the author was, what the website was, when it was posted or created, and then of course when it was accessed. So here's the information. I want you to take a minute and put that together on your own. Okay, so if you are not quite finished with that, go ahead and finish up. That one you are doing on your own. And now we're going to talk about submission. So you want to make sure that you submit your Google Doc for the Week 1 CQ Dropbox. So you're actually going to take that copy that you made and you're going to submit it. I will be assessing you on your highlights. So make sure that you have your items highlighted, and then also make sure you have the proper citation listed below. Then what you're going to do is on your own, you are going to create a properly formatted works cited page, and you are going to submit that to the Writing Research Writing Practice Dropbox. So there's two different things. So the CQ, you're being assessed on your highlights and your citations below the bullets, and then for the actual assignment, it needs to be a works cited page that is properly formatted. And remember, your formats need to include your name and page number in the upper right corner. It should be double spaced. It needs a centered title that says Works Cited. The rest of the document should be left aligned. Your items should be in alphabetical order, and they should have a hanging indent if they're more than one line. Okay, that brings us to the end of class. So what you are responsible for this week, you need to complete your course agreement, the Week 1 CQ, and then the rest of your work is listed out for you there. Please make sure you stay on track. You want to stay on pace so that you finish up on time. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. And additionally, remember there are office hours on Wednesday from 11 a.m. to noon. Thanks so much for being here and have a fantastic week.